Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Micks Mowers. In today's episode we're going to be looking at another roller mower. This is a Mountfield Empress. I'm not a fan, only because they are knocking on now, but lots of people do still like them. When I went to my dealer who gets them out of the old scrap pile, he had two there, and one had the Tecumseh on top and one had a Quantum on top, and I went for the Quantum, only because I hate Tecumsehs. And number two, the Tecumseh one was in a little bit rougher shape. It comes with a grass bag, the height adjustment all works. That I've already checked when I was there. And the machine did pull over. Apart from that, I haven't even put no petrol in it or carb spray. Haven't got a clue. But hopefully, if I can get it looking nice and get it all up and running, it should do pretty well. As I say, they are knocking on now. I think Empress were about 1980, something like that. That's just a rough guess. But there's not many about nowadays. It doesn't make them any more popular. But people do like the lawns to be striped, and this has got a plastic deck, and the deck is in good condition. So we'll have a little look at this one. If this is your first time in watching Micks Mowers, hit the subscribe button, whack your bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told when I've done a video, or two on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty, and let's check out this Mountfield Empress. Right, people. I was going to go outside and give it a fire up, but yeah, we've come across this, and that's all stuck. It does pull over, but that's about as much as you're going to get out of it. So, got to sort the spring out first before we do anything. So, I shan't be going too mad of it until I know at least I've got a spark, and all the bits and pieces all are doing what they say they're doing. So I need my impact, which that is on charge over past 2 or 3 hours, so that should be good to go. There should be a 3/8 already in there, which should be handy if it is. Yeah, so I've got that. So yeah, got to remove the recoil cover. 3/8 bolt there. 3/8 bolt there. Now I know it doesn't look like much at the minute, but you've got to give these old girls a bit of time, because half of them, they don't need a lot to get them running. And if you get them running nice and getting looking nice, even though they're a little bit agey, you can still get relatively good money for them. So, just never look a gift horse in the face is what I'm trying to say. Because 9 times out of 10, they all come back. There could be terminal, could be a bent crank, all that sort of stuff. But for what I paid for it, it's definitely worth a risk. The deck is in good condition, so we'll have a go at it. 2 little tiny 8mm or thereabouts. We'll remove the cover, which gives you the top of the carby, and that's a good then chance just to look inside, make sure all the springs are there, just in case you've got an adaptation like a cable tie in there or something like that, which happens a lot. No, that's all there. All the springs are in place. Does it choke? Yeah, it chokes. Okay, that's lovely. So that all works as it should do. Now, these are renowned for the linkages up the top. In fact, I was talking to Pete the other week. He had one. His mower was running really, really rough because all the top here was all seized up and dry and all. If you just put some WD-40 in there, and whilst I'm doing the rest, just let that do its magic, because WD-40 is magical stuff. It has magical properties. Okay, it doesn't. I just say it does. I use it a lot, I do. So round this side, round here, we've got a little 3/8 bolt down here. Undo that one. Put your hand in. The bolt will come out, and there's a little tiny rubber spacer behind that. You want to just pull that out as well, as you're going to lose that. Just in between the tank and the engine, a little tiny rubber spacer just there. Yeah. That goes in there. Then with that done, you can take this guard off of here. A flat-headed screwdriver might be of an assistance for us. Take that little cover off. It's got some little tiny clips there just to pop it off. And all these parts are available on eBay and whatever. You can get all these like 10, 15 quid. Take that all off. Now, before I go any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of my magic WD-40. I'm literally just going to give that a helping of WD-40 in there. Let it run all the way down. Let that do its business. It's soaking in there, and give this pull cord a couple of pulls, and just to see if I can't get just to come back. It's trying. I can see it's trying. Yeah, it's trying. It's moving. There it goes. There it goes. I told you. WD-40 has magical properties. Just let that soak in there before we go any further. Give it a clean. Let me fire my compressor up, 2 seconds. Right, I'm just going to a bit more of an airbrush off with my old WD-40 and with my air gun. Again, some more WD-40. Don't be frightened of WD-40. Lots of people say, "Oh, you should, it's not a penetrating blah blah. It's a water displacement." And that's fine. That's fine. You're all entitled to all your own opinions. You don't have to copy me. Simple as that. And lots of people do say you should be using other loops. I will do eventually, but I'm just trying to get this machine just rocking and rolling. So spark plug actually is turned off, and now look, now it's starting to go. I'll put them bolts back in the front of here because that's lifting up ever so slightly as well, which is not helping matters. So I'm going to put that back into there. I'll try and find you an age on this old girl in a minute. Let's have a look. I'll find one. I think it's 83, I think. I'll look in a minute. I can't see the actual date on it. There'll be a date on the engine. I believe the engine to be original. So I'm going to put this back on. Now, I will remove this cover anyway. So I wanted to double check everything else underneath it because it is quite an old machine. That's a bit potent. That should be all right. Right, now try and pull it over now, see what we get. There you go. So straight away, without even doing anything, apart from a bit of WD-40, we have managed to sort that out. So I'm going to get a spark plug spanner socket next, because the plug here also looks original. There's a date there. I can't find a date on there. There you go. Well, I'm seeing it now. 1995. This machine was first dated. Yeah, 1995. So that was when I left school. What was it? Oh yeah, plug. So it's got a Champion plug in here, which I would say is probably original as well. Cool, it's well in there too. Let me get my air gun and have a bit of a clean off around there because it's full of gunk. Nothing going in that old cylinder head. Let's take that out. B2LM, absolutely charred. So let's give it a happy birthday. Let's give it a brand new plug. Okay, I'm gonna check the oil whilst we're up on top. Next to no oil at all, which is a little bit frightening because it should have oil in it. Let me tip it up and just check the oil crank seal. There's a little bit of stuff there, but I don't think it is. It's hard to tell with no oil in the machine. We might have bought a lemon. But we shall see. So let's put some oil in it first before we go too far. Let's give it a bit of a birthday here. You can get the oil, still get the bottom crank seals for it. It may not be leaking. It may just, be a bit of dirt underneath there. Let's put a bit in, just to whet her appetite. Whilst that's doing that, I'll pick that plug up I just dropped, and I want to test for spark. We've got an HT lead. Yeah, that's pretty clean. Put that into there. Just bring that back over here somewhere, just so I can just test for a spark about there. On a rag. Put that up there for now. So let's test for a spark. See what we get. The advantage is you can always put another engine on here, see? All right, let's have a little look. Let's check for Mr. Sparky, see what he does. Yeah, we got a spark. We got a nice, lovely spark. So I just want to double check that oil. Make sure we've got some oil in the machine now. Yeah, we've got a bit of oil in there. We've got enough just to make it go bang. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for it to do anything else just yet. The chance are it's going to smoke the shed out anyway. Right, so we've got enough oil to start it. It's about halfway up. We've got a spark, so let's get a bit of carby spray. Carby spray, carby spray. Stick that in the hole. Put the plug in relatively rapid. In goes the new plug. That's in. Let's clear the decks a little bit. Not no bits falling off, do we? I can't wait to get my new toolbox. I need a new toolbox. Boiler first, then toolbox. Right, so carby spray's in. Bomb, bomb. That's a magnet tray. I don't go too far. That's it. Okay, let's get a bit of a fire then to see what it does. Just want it to go bang. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I know there's any fuel in there. Any fuel in there? It might run. No fuel in there at all. Bone dry. So I've got no chance of running, so it should just go bang. Hopefully. That went bang. I heard it. I don't know about you lot. We had a bit of smoke pour out from somewhere. Let's give it a bit more. It's like waking up the dead, isn't it? But obviously, it's a bit of a risk when you buy an engine with no oil in it. That's better. That's better. That gave her some food for thought. All right, let's try it again. Come on, old girl. Let's have it. Let's hear that wonderful noise. There you go. That tells me we got an engine that's relatively healthy. Okay. So happy with that. So what should I do? Should I just put some petrol in it? Let's just put some petrol in, just for a giggle, to see if it won't actually run off its own back. Not too much, just enough just to wet the old girl's whistle. That should be enough. I'll open the other barn door up. A bit of ventilation in it. That'll do. I'm not expecting it to run, but you just never know. You just never ever know. So let's choke the machine. That's choking lovely. Right, let's see what happens if it goes off its own back. No, she's not ready for that yet, Mick. So we've got a bit of carburetor work to do. So let's cut round the other side and we'll have a look at this little carburetor. Right, let's have a little go then. Let's have a look, see what this carburetor holds for us. So we've got a fired machine. That's all bent up to something. That shouldn't be. Let's bend that back. That's all bent. That's it. Okay. Oh my lord. Have a look at that little baby, full of oil. I would say it's not been running for a long old time. Long old time. That's disgusting. Yeah, that's Not very nice at all. So based upon that evidence, I think I'm going to go forward and I'm going to actually remove a carby, because that's pretty bad. Bless a little heart. In fact, it's darn near lawnmower abuse. Right, we're going to remove that little one there. Cool. We'll put that on there. He-Man. Well on there. Oh, they're coming off. Let's get Mr. Impact. And we'll run it off with an impact instead. Yeah, it's coming. That was well on there. I've got a plate here to remove as well. Okay. Let's remove that. That's it. Let's take the old choke cable off. Well, don't give much room back in them days, do they? That's it. Let's take that off. Air breather pipe comes off. Crankcase breather. Ah, my lord. That's state of that carburettor. Let's have a look at it. Have a look at that carby. Oh my lord, lots of yummy stuff in there. Look at it. Absolutely filthy. Never mind, that's what we do, right? Good enough. Right. So I need to clamp the fuel off. That fuel pipe looks about as solid as anything on that fuel line there. That looks quite solid. I'll try that for now. We've got a little tiny clamp in there as well, which I want to remove off the fuel line. Let's bring that clamp back a bit and just have it off a bit square so it's out of my way. Little tiny fuel hose clamp, if it'll hold together. Yeah, it does. Let's give that old fuel line a bit of a tweeze. I know it's going to come out. I might have to remove the carby first. Maybe that's a thing. I might have to do that first. 3/8 on an impact. And we've got one up in here. That's that one. One up in here. That's that one. 2 bolts to remove, which will be little tiny 3/8 jobbies. That's better. Now the old carb's starting to come off. Let me bend that pipe round. Try and remove that off of the carby. There it goes, there goes a fuel line. That's just come off. That's handy, Harry. Now I'm in the right predicament. Thank the Lord didn't put much fuel in there. Let's run that fuel out. Let me run the fuel out and I'll come back to you in 2 ticks. Right, I've got the carby off the machine. All that petrol was drained out, so that's cool. Just going to go and grab myself a 1/2 inch socket to remove said carburetor bowl. I'm back. Did you miss me? Right, here's my carby. I'm going to put some gloves on. So I did cut myself, literally I cut myself on the back vents to my ultrasonic cleaner. I just took a slice right out of my finger. I'm not normally squeamish, but oh, I tell you something, that was smarts. That did a little tiny bit. So yeah, I took a nice big chunk right out of my finger. Health and safety. Yeah, just be aware of your ultrasonic cleaners, little vents on the back. I grabbed it, took it out of a drawer, and big lump of skin come off. Right, let's have a nose. I've just blown the top of the carburetor off ever so slightly, just so I can Oh, just so I can get in there. Oh my word. That ain't happening. Impact. I don't like using impacts on carburetors because it does tend to snap them, but you can put them in a vice and try and tease them, but I'm quite an impatient soul. This'll... Cool. I don't know, that's coming. That must be coming. They don't normally have 2 or 3 whacks like that. That ain't come. Right, I was going to a vice then. But there's every chance this is going to snap, people. Every chance. Cool. I've not had one like that before. Right, over to the vice, 2 ticks. I'll be back in a minute. Hopefully we get this nut off of here. I need to go a bit careful with it, otherwise it'll snap and that'll be game over. Right, I actually managed to get it moving. I'll tell you something, that didn't want to come. Look at that in there, look, can you see that? Oh my Lord. Right, here goes a jet. I thought that snapped then. There's a jet bolt, let me get that out. I mean, that's the reason why I don't want to run. I've never seen one like that, never. That's proper. That's proper. That made the funny noise. So here we go. Let's have a little look. Oh my Lord. It is the crusty crab. Look at the state of it. It might be. I was hoping to get away with not using ultrasonic cleaner today, but this might be an ultrasonic cleaner job. We shall see, because I don't think I'm going to get that out. This is going to want a serious bit of cleaning. I might have to put it in the cleaner as is, just to try and get rid of some of this stuff. This is a proper carby. This is all there. Oxidisation going on. It's really not a very happy carb at all, is it? The needle is actually seized. I can see that. I'll get my little tiny tinking hammer. Now, I might even be able to get away with that because I think my feet stink. No, I think I actually have some auto carburetors. Mrs. P's made me a cup of coffee. I think I've got some spare auto carburetors, so I could just swap out the carburetor. But you know me, I'm not into that. Unless I have to. This is going to be a pickle. I can't even get that needle to come up. Oh my word! Right, until I get that pin out, we're sort of stuck here. So over to a vice. I'm going to put it in the vice and try and press it out. There's every chance this is going to snap. Every chance. So I need to get on a decent surface. So yeah, I'll be back in 2 ticks. Right, I got said pin out, and all I did was I laid this on the vice, okay, with this part here on the vice edge, and with this part of the tinking hammer, I then struck very gently the side posts of the carburetor, then turned it over, tap, 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 not actually hitting the hole, just hitting the side. Some quite good taps. You know, the harder you go, the bigger risk you've got of breaking it. Simple as that. So don't go mad. The next mission I've got is to remove the needle out from the bottom of a carby, and that's well in there. Let's bung a little bit of carby, a bit of a WD-40 spray down here, just to try and help that along. Yeah, that's right in there. word. I don't want to come. I might have to try and squeeze the float off its seat. Try and lift it over top of the needle, like so, on that side, and then the same on this side. Just try and lift it over top of the needle, just so I can get that to come out. I could just put it straight in the ultrasonic cleaner, but you know, I want to just try and get on with my day. Oh, I'm pulling on that, I'm telling you. Cool. That's shocking. She's a proper carby. See, lots of people in the game are all screaming, oh, just put another carb on it, Mick. No, don't want to. We're all about preservation for society. Trying to keep everything as original as we can. Right, there goes the float. Now I can get hold of that needle. There it goes. We got it. We got it. I took some pulling though. Ah, my lord. So isn't that a thing? Yeah, this needle seat is actually triangular in shape, and I believe it not to be. It's just so much cruds in there. So let me get cleaning. Try and get some of this stuff off. Try and get this carburetor to at least just run. I've got a sneaky feeling the carby may be too far gone. But if I can get just the Venturis to work, then we could be on a winner. So yeah, 2 or 3 minutes. Let me have a bit of a carb clean. I'll take this O-ring off. I'll try and save that, if I can. And then I'll get some carb cleaner, and we're going to try and carb clean it. And I think I'm just going to put it in the cleaner. Put it in the old ultrasonic cleaner for around about 20 minutes. Once I get a nice big clean, and then that will then give it half a chance to come back. But there's so much corrosion on here. It's not good, people. So yeah, see you back in 2 ticks. Once I clean this carburetor, I'll put it through a cleaner, and I'll come back in 2 ticks. Okay, so you might have noticed that you had a bit of a time lapse there. I forgot to turn my microphone back on. I was sitting there chatting and what have you, and that's the original carburetor. I've not mucked about with it at all. I haven't cleaned it, I haven't changed it. That's the same carby. So we're now going to fit this carby to the machine, and hopefully we've cured it. So it's all working as it should do. So a little tiny hole here, and that goes on your governor rod. Just sit him on. Like so, then tip the carby back, and then that then sits up. There is actually an O-ring which you may need. They're generally left on the machine on the inlet. Okay, so just make sure you have got that. Otherwise, you'll come a bit unstuck a bit later on because the carby won't seal. So in between the 40 minutes waiting for that carby to clean, I have actually been just cleaning the carburetor, cleaning the rest of the engine up. It's had the oil put in it as it should be. All that sort of good stuff. So I've been doing bits and pieces to the machine in the background. Let's just try and fit this carby on in one go. There you go, that's what happens. It would be lovely to get this carby to work, because there is about £15–20 for a carby for these. And obviously if we can save a few pounds in the repair process, then that's all good. Right, that's the first bolt in. That's the second bolt in. So that's all on. You've got a little tiny black spring here, and it is tiddly, and it sits on the back side of this little tiny choke flap. If it's not on, your machine won't choke later on. So make sure that's in place. So that spring's in place as it should be. That all works. Yeah, that's all free to move. My choke will move as and when I call for choke. It'll choke itself and come off. That's all good. Next thing I want to do is get my backing plate, which is the metal one. I'll get that into place, and also my fuel line as well. So I'm going to hook the fuel line up next. That'll go on there, and then onto there. Just push that fuel line on a touch more, so it's well seated. That's better. That's all good. The fuel line is a bit hard, but it'll do the job. I've got a pair of pliers here to hook up the clip for the fuel line. That goes onto there. Backing plate, crank breather pipe goes onto a crank breather there. Stick him on first, and just rotate the carb on into place. And that's all going to sit there. I need a gasket, which is on the bench. Mustn't forget Mr. Gasket, because they do need them. Otherwise it'll have an air leak. I did rescue that out the cleaner. It was having a bit of a swim. Oh. So I want two smaller 8mm bolts, which will be these two slightly longer ones. They can both go through, and all I'm going to do is hold them in place and then just slip the gasket in over the top of those two. Come on, baby. That's good. And then I'm going to slide the carburetor plate on, and then I want my little 28mm. And we just start them rolling. Got those two to put on, and then I've got a third one, which would be that little tiny one there, I believe. That looks about right. And that one sits up into here and holds it all level. So don't do that one up here up first. Do these two up first on my carby. Get your carburetor sat. So just get them run down nicely together. Don't just do one all the way and then the other one. Just get them down well seated before you come back to tighten them up. I'm using a screwdriver, and I've got a power tool beside me. Nice and gently nick them down, and then just wind them in. That's good, we're happy with that. I'm now going to hook up my choke cord, which is that one, and then we'll turn that round. I then want to set my machine to choke on the lever, all the way up, and then pull this arm back, so that's actually in the choke position. So that's full choke, off a choke on the arm, that comes off, back on choke, yeah, that's choking lovely. So that's all working. Now we can get our filter, which the old one was knackered, so brand new air filter goes in. It's already had a new plug already. Slip all that on, that all goes into there, flat-headed driver. So all's already been done. Spark plug's been done, I haven't done the blade yet. That's all done. I can put this mounting case back on as well, because we had the WD-40 work its magic earlier on. So that all should be good. Move on to there. Oh, that might be about. The hardest thing to fit on is going to be the recoil assembly cover. That's that one. Cool, get on there. That's it. So that's all on. I've then got this little tiny cover here to fit, which I will have to spray up as well. What's a bit of a clean, that way around, Mick. That's got to sit onto there. Let me get it screwed down, and then I'll meet you outside. I'll put some petrol on the old girl. I'll meet you outside, and we'll go for a fire up. I've got to put the other bolt in, which went around the back of a tank as well. Haven't, as of yet, put that in. The one with a little tiny plastic spacer I mentioned at the beginning of the video. This one here, that long bolt with that spacer. I've got to put the exhaust guard on as well. So that's been sprayed up. So that's got to go on. So a bit of a fiddle to fit this. You've got to put that up inside around the back of the bracket, and then this then goes through. So let me get it done. I'll meet you outside in 2 ticks. Right, what a lovely day it is today, and it's a beautiful day today. There's a Mountfield Empress all done. Well, I say Mountfield Empress, this is actually a Mountfield Ransoms Mountfield, owned by Ransoms, but I know as an Empress. So it's had new air filter, carburetor's been cleaned. If it don't run, I'll put a new carby on it. All's been done. Pull cord was fine. That was saved by the magical powers of WD-40. So technically, a new spark plug as well. Technically, it should all run. Bit of a spray up, bit of a tidy up. Height adjustment all works. Let's see how we got on, shall we? No fuel leaks, which is good. First pull. Okay. You can see it's not been started for a while. Let me just give it a bit of a 2-minute run and see how it gets on. Once that smoke's cleared out, we'll have a bit more vision what goes on. So give it a minute, I'll be back. Okay, there it is. It is running. It is a bit smoky, but don't forget this machine had no oil in it at all when it first came. So it wants a good run now to see if the engine's any good or not. Having no oil in the machine is no good, as you know. It is clear compared to what it was, but there's still a bit of smoke there. We're just going to give it a run, see what happens. Alright, Riley boy, okay, cuddle. Cuddle. Come on, cuddle. So yeah, it's still a bit smoky. We'll see how it gets on. It is clearing, but it wants a good 15-20 minute run, get nice and hot, and that'll prove if the engine's any good or not. But there's still a bit of smoke there now, so I've got a sneaking suspicion the engine might be done, but we'll see. Right, so there you go, Mountfield, Ransoms Mountfield, or Mountfield Empress, one or the other, whichever one you want to call it. Now all up and running, and it's on its test at the minute. I'm not seeing no smoke, if a very, very small amount, and I mean tiny. So I don't know yet if there's any damage done to it. I've just filled the tank right up. There's enough oil in it to suit it. And I'm just going to let it run a full tank of juice, and about to tell me whether or not the machine's any good or not when I go to start it again tomorrow morning. But it wouldn't start if it had a severe problem. So it could be a very minor problem with it all, no oil being in there. However, it did come from a tip as well, so there's a possibility that they drained the petrol and oil out of the machine as well. Maybe that's what they did. Who knows? And this is the risk you take when you buy machines or get machines out of recycling centres that people have deemed to throw away. So there's no telling how long ago that machine was last run. It could be the first time it's run in about 10 years, and it isn't a young girl, but it's ticking over. It's not missing a beat. All the hunting and surging's now gone, which is good. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be a good one. So we should wait and see. I'll update you another day on my live stream tonight. So thank you very much for joining me in this episode of Micks Mowers. That little carby was absolutely smashed, and just goes to prove you don't need to buy brand new carburetors, because you can save the old ones. So hopefully we have done a good job there and brought that little carburetor back to life. It's running and doing exactly as it should do, as I say. No fuel leaks, no nothing. So fingers crossed, eh? That's cool. If it's your first time I'm watching Micks Mowers, hit the subscribe button, whack your bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told when I've done a video, or two I'm on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon. But until then, people, don't forget, much more importantly, take her easy.